go control Windows and go back into the, like you have to go out and go into the Internet Explorer. Control E, if you do all, and then go into the.
Okay, so we'll next up.
I don't know how to do that.
So Paul, can you get the video working online?
Online.
So yeah, I know, but we need to go out of the presentation into Internet Explorer. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. So that's how you do it.
Okay.
Cool. So, evening everybody. My name is Pete, and I had an absolute pleasure working on this CLM with Marco, Paul and Matt. So Matt's based up in Brisbane, so he's going to join us via sort of audio link on one of the later slides. And we had a brilliant time working with Earl Pinto. We really enjoyed doing the amount of research, and I'll go through that as a bit of an introduction. But we were provided with a second scenario. So the three different groups that are working with Earl Pinto in regards to marketing strategy. And we were presented with scenario 2, which was to expand by changing the current business model. So keeping the design function and prototyping in-house, such that outsourcing and manufacturing and distribution occurred. So we formed the design thinking approach of our marketing plan around that scenario, tested it, and then came up with some other strategies. So it was important to look at that scenario as a solution to the problem definition. But we've come up with some other strategies rather than just focusing on that. So we wanted to be really holistic, and we've done a lot of research, which I'll go through. But firstly, as an introduction, before I keep waffling on, we might show you guys a video of our interactions with Earl Pinto and where the brand is, some of their products, which are absolutely unbelievable, and we'll go from there. Can you do full screen? Picking up the audio. Sorry about the sound. Just mute it, Marco. Just mute it. Play it and mute it. Yeah. So we really just wanted to give an introduction as to what the setup of the business is like, and this video tells the story of the nature of the business. So there's the workshop at the back of where essentially all of the pieces of furniture and lighting is kept, and this is Alex at work. So all of the products are handmade, and I'll give a bit more of an introduction as to who's who within the brand. But we wanted to give you guys an indication and an example of the level of work that goes into producing furniture, and the fact that this is not mass produced, this isn't outsourced, it's made in Collingwood, and the chap that you're seeing here is part of the brand and part of the definition. So there's a combination of lighting and furniture pieces, which really defines the brand. Can you go on to third slide, please? Yep. So, welcome to the brand. Earl Pinto is a creation of Gerard, who's an award-winning architect, and Alex Earl, who's a master craftsman of furniture with a history of fine art. So that's Alex, and that's Gerard, and you can probably tell from the pictures which one is the design focus and which one is the practical guy. No offense. So Earl Pinto is a Collingwood-based manufacturer, and the retail high-end furniture. Every single person that we have shown the brand to, the website to, my girlfriend came along to Collingwood as well. She was absolutely amazed by the products, and everyone that we show the website to and these products to are absolutely blown away. They can't get off the website. So that to us, during our design thinking iterative research, really showed that the product is not the issue, if there is an issue. And Paul will give a further definition as to exactly some areas for improvement, and every business obviously has areas for improvement. And the business has developed through maturation rather than specific design. And what we mean by that is that the focus of Gerard, Alex, and there's another guy called Brandon who works at Earl Pinto, has been on providing quality products, be it furniture or lighting, to the market. There hasn't been a huge focus on the running of the business, brand awareness, and some strategies around that. And I hope that's fair, Gerard, but it's the focus really has been on day-to-day activities rather than bringing the brand from where it is at the moment to being an international brand, which is where we'd absolutely love to see it. So how do we learn more about Earl Pinto? So we have done our research. We've done an external analysis. So we went through the political, economic, social and technological issues that the brand might face and the environment in which it works. We thoroughly analysed 5 different competitors. And the reason that we picked these competitors is because of individual interviews with Gerard, with Alex, site visits, and then we interviewed 2 different interior designers who work with Earl Pinto on a regular basis. And they identified pain and pleasure points. And the competitors that they identified, I can name them. So the Great Dane, Jadan, Christopher Boots, Mark Tuckey, and Mortison Tenon. We also did a customer journey map to outline the pain and pleasure points, and that's in our marketing plan that you will get a copy of. We did an internal analysis, so we looked at all of the different products, all of the company resources that you guys have at the moment, and that's staffing and equipment. We looked at the core design and manufacturing capabilities that you have at present. We looked at your finances, which you kindly gave to us, thank you. We looked at your current strategic approach. We did several site visits, both when the workshop was open, when it was closed, at the weekend, nighttime, daytime. We wanted to get a real appreciation as to the foot traffic and the immediate environment where the workshop is. So we really tried to get an understanding of the brand. And from an empathetic stakeholder design thinking approach, we spent probably an hour and a half with each of the interior designers that you identified to understand what the business is doing well and their specific pain and pleasure points. We didn't do desktop research. We actually spoke to the people that are dealing with the guys on a daily basis or a weekly basis to really understand what the key problem definition is for the business. We did a business and marketing analysis, and we did industry research. So we looked into the research of furniture manufacturing and furniture upholstering industries. So I'm now going to pass over to Paul, who's going to run through what we know about Earl Pinto.
Okay. Thanks, Pete. Yeah, obviously we did as Pete said, we did a hell of a lot of research, and we think investigation, I suppose, and we think we know the brand pretty well, if we do say so ourselves. It was quite thorough, and I suppose what we know the customer, and there's going to be some themes here based on what you've heard about 5 minutes ago. We know the customers, we know your customers really, really like your products. And we also know that your suppliers and designers like working with you. They want to see you do well. We know you produce some really well designed and crafted furniture. I think the key is that people remember them. So people remember these people. These guys have got a brand because people remember them. We know that, I think it was mentioned before about the ethical approach. We know that you value sustainability. We also know that viewed as unique in your industry. I suppose that's a result of a guy who's been involved in fine arts, coming together with designers to make furniture, if that makes sense. We also know, like any business, it's not without challenges. We know you've had some key personnel changes recently. We also know that, and this is potentially some of your suppliers and people who work with you, there's potential there for some complementary services to, I suppose it comes back to customer experience, doesn't it? It always does. That's how the products are designed, with the customer in mind. But it's not just those that we consider. There's customers, but there's also a bunch of other people that came out in our stakeholder journey maps that are associated with products. We've done a fairly brief. I suppose we broke them into business challenges. So we've got, we had a look at the business, I suppose, and we thought systems, processes, analysis, knowing stuff like products, profitable products, successful products, customers, leads, where they come from, sources, competition, all that stuff. We think there's been a fairly limited advertising and promotional activity, as Peter mentioned. We know there's been some resourcing issues, and we know that, I don't know if people know where these guys are located, but just so everyone's aware, they're in Sackville Street, which is just off Johnson Street. There's not a lot of through traffic through there, and when you compare it to the competition, it's probably, it goes without saying, and there's a lot of people that make it use of those. And I suppose the key thing here is, and getting back to my point before, is that when people know the story and they know the brand, it's not hard to sell it to them. They appreciate it, and they appreciate the products and the story. So if there was exposure to more potential people, we think it's a fairly easy conversion into a growth in the business. Current marketing challenges, I think I've been through those. Understanding of the customer and competition, brand awareness, the production and potential delivery delays, and the customer experience with the products. And by that we mean there is a bit of a limited space inside the showroom. So actually interacting with the product before you buy it is often not possible. We'll go now to Brisbane, I think. Hopefully we can all hear this.
It's not working. Can you talk to it, Paul?
Yeah, I'm just not.
It's not working.
So, apologies for this, folks.
And hi everybody from sunny Brisbane. I apologise that I can't be there this evening in person. I just wanted to take you through the strategic marketing plan at a high level for Earl Pinto based on the key business and marketing challenges that have been identified earlier on in the presentation. We've really cut this into two key areas. One is getting the basics right for the organisation from a systems and process perspective, and then based on the success of that implementation, relaunching the brand and telling the Earl Pinto story. So under getting the basics right, we think it's crucial for the founders of Earl Pinto to agree a common mission statement and vision to ensure they're all completely aligned on the direction of the organisation. Clearly the company has limited customer data and analysis, so we think that the implementation of the CRM tool is absolutely crucial to unlocking those insights. And then introducing supporting systems and processes aligned to the accounting system within Earl Pinto to ensure that the organisation is operating with a customer-centric model. Based on that, we then think that the organisation should be conducting regular customer and competitive analysis to understand their customers in more detail, and then how they are actually indexing versus their competitors in meeting those customer needs over time, both from a customer service perspective, but also from a product perspective as well. And from the insights that would be gained through those analysis of the output of all of those tools, allocating resources and aligning production to those new insights so that all of the operations of the organisation are focused on meeting customer need, and that's aligned to our design thinking process. Now, after possibly a 6 to 9 month period of those basics now being embedded, we believe that it would be appropriate for Earl Pinto to relaunch the brand, and that would be across really three key areas. One would be telling the Earl Pinto story through a refreshed website, online social media campaign, underpinned by search and online advertising, and then catalogue development, and then also streamlining Earl Pinto's product lines with very clear pricing data, which is currently absent from a lot of the online collateral, and very clear descriptions of repeatable products that Earl Pinto can produce for customers that become almost their standard products. And thirdly, we think it's very important for the organisation to build strategic industry partnerships, and this will be a business development tool over time. And that will be underpinned by an interior design campaign and then also a designer-centric publication preparation.
Thank you, Matt. So what I want to take you guys through is just in terms of how do we actually see this brand refresh and industry partnerships working from day one. And I think what's really important across product, across pricing, across distribution, and across communication is that we have to get the Earl Pinto message out. I think that tell the story as well as the design identity that's there in any piece. I think that's really what we want to make sure we implement through a new strategy in terms of the refresh. I think in terms of the pricing itself, I think the Earl Pinto customer isn't necessarily price sensitive, and it's really the customers that sort of sit at the high end of the market that's really interested in the Earl Pinto product. In terms of implementing that, we really see a multifaceted approach, going online through social media, website redesign, catalog, as well as physical, working with an interior designer and making sure that that actually gets implemented, and that it's something unique that aligns with the Earl Pinto story. In terms of the communication as well, I think the communication, there's two strong customer groups for Earl Pinto across the commercial as well as the high-end customer, and I think we need to focus on that. Important when we then go with the strategy in terms of the website redesign is that we make sure that the ease of use is really there for the customer, that the pricing is really available, but also that we measure the number of unique visitors that we have to the site. That in itself will sort of allow us to, for the first time, actually measure the effectiveness of any spend that we want to have, and how does it actually relate from spending some money and investing and actually getting a lead. I think we all believe that Earl Pinto is fantastic in converting leads that they have, although through word of mouth at this point in time, into actual sales. And I think by investing in social media, industry websites, through contextual placement, I think it will really provide you guys with an opportunity to take more leads into the back office system and actually convert that. In terms of the costs at a high level, we wanted to make sure that it's sort of broken up into 4 key areas. The website and the catalog, the Google SEO and SEM spend, as well as social media and YouTube videos, where the real story, such as the intro that we've given, is really portrayed to the broader market in terms of how specialized the products are that Earl Pinto actually makes. In terms of the projected revenue, we took a sales mix in terms of what we would see the leads coming through designer advertisements, working with a designer, and sort of with a model with Google spend. And we were fairly comfortable in terms of, based on the number of leads and the conversion of that the short term and certainly sort of the medium term for a year, there could be as much as $265,000 in revenue gain through implementing the approach. And that's really that at a high level. We'll sort of just hand over to Paul to talk a little bit about conclusions.
Sure.
Thank you.
I suppose what we want to stress, we need to understand this business. We need to understand it more, and we'd like to understand it more. We'd like to walk before we can run, I suppose, is one thing that we want to, is that we found we would like to know more so that we can get an idea of where we can improve and how we can measure our improvement. We also want to stress that, realistic and achievable goals, we need to put some data around them, and those 2 points, I suppose, are probably linked. We do realise that, there are aspirations to this business. Jared, you mentioned that you want to be an international company, and there's certain disadvantages, I suppose, at the moment, in that we're not in other major capitals, Sydney and Brisbane. And certainly from a business perspective, I suppose that is a vision and a goal that we would see as, I suppose, maturing as we get the basics right and we understand the business model and we build that brand from there. We have strategic partnerships and we have market penetration, I suppose, in the first instance. And then from that improved brand, from that improved exposure, that we can potentially look at new markets and we look at diversified products. Getting back to outsourcing and manufacturing, because that was our brief. We had the solution, I suppose, at the start. We did analyse this and we do go through this in some detail in here. However, I suppose we did want to conclude that when we looked at it, I keep coming back to it, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. We want to make sure we can walk before we can run. We're believers and we like the brand, we really like the stuff. And similar to the guys, I suppose, who you work with, they want to see you do well, and we want to see you do well as well. And I suppose let's make sure we get the basics right. Outsourcing and manufacturing, absolutely, in time. We think it's a long-term prospect at this point. That, of course, there's financial benefits, there's profits, there's decreased cost bases, all that sort of stuff. But at the moment, the stuff that sells your story, the stuff that they can access yourself and you can access Alex, they can come into the shop and they can speak to you and you can tell them how you made that $2,000 stool. I think that's key at the moment, and we think at this point in time it's probably a bit of a stretch. That's probably all we've got, right?
Great.
Thank you.
Any questions? Happy to field them.
We did have a question. As you talked about pricing structures and having them quite apparent. One of the things we've often grappled with is the idea that a price initially without having a point of contact can often be quite scary for a lot of people, especially at the price point that we do have to sit at. So how do you see that kind of revelation happening on an online platform where you're trying to tell an entire story, including the price point? What I've found is that we do get a lot of online sales, but they're not for, some are for big ticket items.
Yeah.
And I think those are people who are extremely on the literate side who look at it and go, yeah, okay, that's exactly what I want. But they're not the majority of the buy. Whereas, my theory is I end up looking at that chair's $2,000.
Yeah. I think we're... Sorry, I'll answer
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You go first and I'll
Okay. So in our marketing plan, it's detailed that from a pricing strategy standpoint, we're looking at two different options. So there's the lower end buyers who want to have something that's Australian, handmade, well designed, exactly what you guys do. And there's also the bespoke pieces where you don't necessarily want to specify a price because it's dependent upon how much work goes in and any alterations and installation costs and those sort of things. So from a pricing strategy, we recommend for the lower end having specified, and then for inquiries to come through.
But do we separate those two out into separate spaces? Because on one hand, we have a $175 plastic light.
Sure.
I'm not going to sit that with a $10,000 dining table.
Sure.
Those are kind of the questions we've often had is how do you actually differentiate? We can sell 100 of those lights, but still, one of those tables makes up for that 100 lights. So, we've often thought, do we just discard that entire cheap section and then just focus on?
I don't want to not answer the question, but I would like to know more information about the two separate products, because really you need to make a decision based on facts and based on what you know. And at the moment, we've tried with Doug and we don't necessarily understand, but I suppose we are hoping, and I suppose it's written in our plan, that there is an option to appeal to both markets and that they may actually operate separately, and that one may not necessarily impact the other. That might be wrong, but that's certainly what we've played around with and what we've discussed in our thought. You had an answer, mate. Did you?
I think that's basically what I want to say. Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity. We love everything we put together.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Thanks. It was awesome.
Primary research team is excellent. So well done, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks.